Guys, I got to tell you, I'm a little banged up today. I don't want to lie to you. I'm a little banged up today. I love being here with you guys, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. We obviously can take off if we want to. We don't want to. But my crew live here. I live here. And, you know, we live with the threat of this stuff all the time. And when it's kind of beating down your front door, it just, it's exhausting. I have my, my nephew here, and he's a little boy, so boy Cody, and little kid. I mean, I haven't had little kids in a long time. And he's driving over from the West Coast with his mom, my cousin, and he's like, "Mommy, why do we have to do this again?" His tummy hurts, like he's anxious, So I just feel bad. It's, we're adults, we can deal with it, but the kids, it's just a lot for them. So I have a lot to get to. I have a big show. Sorry for the extended open. I hope you guys understand. I'm just dealing with a lot, and I feel like you're entitled to know what's going on in my life. First, folks, this metastasizing, grotesque, disgusting story that really epitomizes why government sucks. Government always sucks. Government is a metastasizing cancer in your life. There are two cancers in your life right now that will be the downfall of you and your family. Government and the media. Cancerous, rotting, metastasizing, disgusting pustules of infected, stinking, rotted masses of it stinking like Rick Wilson's underarms in a freaking airport after a long flight. Fetid, disgusting, putrid, sulfur-smelling, stinking government and media garbage people. Did you see this Washington Free Beacon story? Major scandal erupting around Biden-Harris. Biden, who's sitting around the beach with his legs spread, sunning his balls on the beach while everybody's freaking drowning, getting smoked by hurricanes. Karine Jean-Pierre, like a little kid, I don't want to answer questions, running out. Kamala Harris, I was raised in a middle-class family. No shit! We've heard it 100 times. No shit! What are you doing for people in the hurricane zones in the United States who pay taxes, who are getting freaking smizzoked now by another freaking hurricane? The answer is Mayorkas, this corrupt piece of garbage, is out there shopping for high-end menswear. No. Yes. No. Yes. Washington Free Beacon. DHS Secretary, and I'm going to editorialize here, piece of human garbage, Al Mayorkas, shops for high-end menswear as mass powder outages continue in North Carolina. Power outages. I like the Washington Free Beacon. You might want to change that. Pass that power outages. The whole freaking place has been wiped out. What's Mayorkas doing? Yeah, Mayorkas is like, hey, oh, look, there's a picture. Oh, look at him. Look at Big Al, folks. Look at Al. What do you got there? What is that? You got like a Sergio Tacchini? Remember the Tacchinis back? You guys remember what's he shopping for there? Like a little, you got some Gucci loafers? What you got going on there? You're like, hey, I'm a size 9. Mayorkas, listen to me. Folks, language alert, okay? You got small kids, get them in the other room. Hey, fuckstick, listen to me. Here's what you do. You're the DHS secretary. You know what that stands for? Department of Homeland Security. In the security part of that is not letting a big portion of the country float away, okay? Get your stupid ass, your ass here. Take your ass. Here's your ass. Here, you want to show ass? Take your right here and put it in a seat and go to work. You lazy bum. That is a great point. Justin thought security meant securing his balls with high-end men's underwear with the little hammock pouch. Here you go. Oh, look, they're secure. Check it out, little pouch. Little pouch. Get your ass to work, you lazy bum. Have we ever seen a more incompetent bureaucrat in our lives than this piece of garbage? Oversees an invasion of the United States, serial murderers in the United States, sex offenders, a fentanyl crisis, a public safety crisis in liberal-run cities. Now he sits there on his ass. He's shopping while the country's floating away. You see this pipe here? This portion of it, at least? This was my grandfather's, Frank Bongino. That was a real man. Fought in the Battle of the Bulge. You know what happened when he came back? You know what happened when he came back? Nothing. He never talked about it ever. I heard he did some really heroic stuff. You know what? Didn't matter. I had to hear from other people, not from him. Never talked about it. And now we're left with these pieces of shit. Shopping for high-end men. Justin's right. Shopping for high-end underwear. Hammock pouch for his balls while the country's floating away. Oh, look. Did he use promo code Bongino? I actually hope not. This is the first time I hope he did. Alejandro Mayorkas, do not use my promo code. I want nothing. I don't want you getting any discounts. I want nothing to do with you at all. Never utter my last name, ever. You don't deserve it. Here's the White House yesterday. Peter Doocy, finally, a guy with actual balls, too. Actual balls, unlike eunuch Mayorkas, who really doesn't have any balls. He doesn't need a hammock pouch because there's nothing to put in there anyway, right? Here's Doocy asking Karine Jean-Pierre, hey, man, listen, this is a $7 trillion government. We're shipping a bunch of money to Lebanon. You're like Lebanon, Pennsylvania. No, Lebanon, the country. Isn't that the country? Guy, you're like an international affairs guy. Isn't that the country that's been harboring Hezbollah, like the death to America? It's the same one. It's so weird. But we're giving them hundreds of millions of dollars, $385 million. No way, the terror party was actually voted in Lebanon. So let's send the money for like election integrity while they cheat in our elections. This government is a joke. It's a joke. You want to know why I piss on government all the time? Because it sucks. Outside of our military and the good intel people and law enforcement folks left and the court system, your government, piss on it. It is useless. It is full of absolutely useless bureaucrats who do nothing but F you over. Here's Karine Jean-Pierre. You pay this pathetic woman's salary. Doocy nails her to the wall on this. Hey, Alejandro Mayorkas, when he was shopping for shoes and sunning his balls or whatever he was doing, is now asking FEMA for more money. You just gave $385 million to Lebanon. What the hell are you doing with all our money? Watch Karine Jean-Pierre, like a little pathetic child, storm off stage here. Check this out.
What does it say about his values? There's not enough money right now for people in North Carolina who need it. That's not misinformation.
Wait, no, that is your whole premise of the question is misinformation, sir. What you do? Yes, it's misinformation.
Is there money to send to Lebanon right now?
I just mentioned to you that we provided more than $200 million to folks who are impacted in the area, and I just shared with you that people are deciding not to. People are deciding not to.
President, wait. To Congress that there's not enough money to help people in North Carolina.
We're talking about the SBA disaster loan.
That's money for people in North Carolina.
And that's important, and people in North Carolina need that. Wait, this is nothing new. Peter, this is nothing new. Congress comes together, they provide money, millions of dollars, for disaster relief. We're asking them to do the job that they have been doing for some time.
From a letter that President Biden sent to Johnson, McConnell, Schumer, and Jeffries. The president's letter is not misinformation. Would you agree?
No, the way you're asking me the question is misinformation. There is money that we are allocating to the impacted areas, and there's money there to help people who truly need it. There are survivors who need the funding,
You can't call a question that you don't like misinformation.
I actually said
This woman is an embarrassment to humanity. She's not just an embarrassment to the government, an embarrassment to her community, an embarrassment to her neighbors. She's not just an embarrassment to the United States. This woman is an embarrassment to any sentient being in any known universe or unknown universe. If this is a simulation, somebody wrote into the Matrix code for a moron in the White House, and this woman appeared. Do you believe this idiot? We have a $7 trillion government where her boss yesterday, a guy with oatmeal for brains, a guy who is completely collapsing, who was sitting on a beach while the country was drowning, right? A pathetic piece of garbage who dropped out of the race because his own party knows he sucks and replaced him with someone who sucks even worse, right? This woman has the balls on the day they announce another illegal, not congressionally authorized student loan bailout. Happened yesterday. Look it up. Happened just yesterday. Congress did not authorize this. It is absolutely illegal and unconstitutional. They are now bailing out your neighbor's rich kid from their student loans. They're doing that with money, with no congressional approval, and the Supreme Court telling them not to. And yet, when it comes to finding money for American tax-paying citizens who worked their balls off their whole lives, Karine Jean-Pierre, like a little child, like a pathetic little infant, walks off the stage. I don't want to answer your question. That's misinformation. These people are disgusting, garbage people. Folks, I am pissed off today. I'm in no mood for this bullshit. These people are pathetic. The best day of your life will be when you vote. If you don't vote, man, folks, I'm going to be a dick for a minute. I'm sorry. Folks in the chat, I'm sorry. If I'm a dick, tell me yes, you're being a dick. I got news for you, though. I don't even really care. If you're not voting, don't listen to my show. I'm serious. Don't listen. This show's not for you. I don't want viewers that bad and listeners. If you're not voting and you're like, oh, don't worry, it's okay, I didn't like the mean tweets, get off my lawn. Is my lawn, I just don't want you. I'm sorry. And if that sounds dicky, I'm really sorry. You want more of this shit? Even if you hate Trump, can it possibly get any worse than this shit? What if I want to vote? You really? Matter of fact, if you're not voting and bringing 10 people with you, you are doing it wrong. Sorry. Folks, I don't care what you got to do. If it's snowing, walk. If you broke your leg, have someone sled you there. If it's raining, put on some Dickies. I don't care what you got to do. If you're not voting, you did this. How much more of this incompetence are you going to deal with? Unfortunately, this next story, this is real. You've got this woman in the White House, an absolute moron who cannot even speak English. She speaks in word salads. She calls senators shits, Senator Schatz, Senator Shorts. The woman Haroni, she's a moron. ABC News. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre promoted to senior advisor. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. The guys were so happy together. They put together a little celebratory thing. So, folks, in honor of the great Karine Jean-Pierre and her promotion to senior advisor, the fireworks go, a little fireworks extravaganza for Karine Jean-Pierre. There we go. Fireworks everywhere. Congratulations, Karine Jean-Pierre. Never have I seen a more apropos promotion in the White House. No, I mean it. I mean it. If your administration is going to cling to being the absolute shittiest presidential administration and vice presidential administration in American history, there's not even a close second. There's not even a close second anymore, right? This guy and Kamala Harris are the worst. The censorship, the fascism, the weaponization of government, the economic disaster, the inflation production bullshit. This is just an absolute disaster. Then yes, you should promote Karine Jean-Pierre. She totally deserves it. Man, I came out. As you can tell, it's just stunning. This is our government. We $7 trillion a year. They steal from me money every single day. They steal from me, these bums. I even saw Dave Portnoy, the Barstool guy. Barstool, who's not like a big conservative. Dave Portnoy, he tweeted out yesterday. He's like, I don't pay my fair share. There's some kind of tax break for me. Can you tell me where that is? Because I pay like 50% of my money. He's right. You got to give your money to these fucking losers, these scrub losers who don't do shit. And then people are freaking floating down the river. You got body bags. You got close to 250 people dead, hundreds missing, and these scumbags in the White House are shopping for shoes, sunning their fucking balls on the beach. You got this other one in Hollywood freaking doing karaoke with whoever the fuck she was at this thing with. Fuck these people. And I'm sorry about that. Fuck these people. You pay for these assholes to fuck you over every single day. Here we go. Here's this fuckwad shopping for shoes. This is your DHS secretary. He's another one. He's probably got some copper tone to sun his balls next to fucking Joe Biden, another douchebag. Yeah, I know I'm going to get 1,000 emails. Let's save the emails. I get it. I understand. I know. Everybody tells me. Met some really nice guy. I get it. I'm in a mood. I'm sorry. I come from Queens. Fuck these people. You ever hear Tim Dog back in? Remember Tim Dog? Man, fuck these people. I'm sorry. I'm tired of these pieces of shit. You know what? I should show you. I don't. You know why I don't do it? You know why I don't show you? Because I hate that. Because people, it's like a humble brag. Let me show you what they pay in tax. Because people want to show you how rich they are. That's the only reason. One day I should show you. You would tell me about this. I'm giving you assholes all this money. Do you understand what I pay in taxes? I could legit. My cousin who's sitting here right now, whose house could float away in the next few years, I could buy her like 3 new houses. Instead, I got to give them to this asshole to shop for Coppertone to sun his balls with his stupid ass boss. Look at this moron. Look at this fucking moron. Border invasion, paying off all illegals with your money, shopping for shoes, shopping for fucking shoes. While half the country's freaking getting ready to deal with some kind of weather disaster. Spending your money on illegals. Hey, I need more money. You need more money? You wouldn't need more money if you didn't spend it on Lebanon, the Taliban, illegals. Go fuck yourself, asshole. I need to take a break for a second. I'm sorry. It's my hydrogen water. Listen, I know the show's not for everyone. So let me just tell you in advance, if you're going to send me an email about the language, I get it. I'm sorry. The show's not for everyone. And the show may not be for you either, okay? When I'm in a mood, I ain't holding back, and I ain't going to pretend. This is how I talk. I come from Queens. It's not cool. Kids don't talk like this. I get it. I can't stand these assholes, and I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. I haven't even gotten to the interviews yet. Kamala Harris yesterday, just again epitomizing why this country is on a downhill slide, and we have one chance to save it. If you're not voting, I'm going to say this again. We got 145,000 people. If 20,000 you're not voting, I want to see that number. It's the first time I'm going to ask you to see the number drop. I don't want you. I'm sorry. You're allowing this to happen if you're not voting. It's actually a good time for a break. I'm going to need some sleep tonight after this show because I'm going to get a quadrillion emails. Hey, you having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Listen, I've been there. Unfortunately, I'm there a lot. You feel tired the next day. You're just not sharp. You're not focused. We can't afford that on this show. We can't. I need to sleep. That's why I use Beam's Dream Powder. It's been a game changer. When you're sleeping well, you're more focused. You're ready to tackle whatever life throws your way. And today, my listeners get a special discount on Beam's Dream Powder. Their science-backed hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. Better sleep has never tasted better. Other sleep aids can cause next-day grogginess, but Dream contains a powerful, all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. Want to try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder? Beam is now offering Bongino listeners an exclusive discount. Get up to 45% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/Bongino and use code Bongino at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/Bongino. Use code Bongino for up to 45% off. Thanks, Beam. All right, back to the show. Kamala Harris did two. Well, she may have done the interviews on different days, but they were launched yesterday, right? She did 2 interviews. One on 60 Minutes, which for some bizarre reason, I think because they're so humiliated by the humiliating, embarrassing Leslie Stahl thing, which they tried to run interference for, they actually asked a couple of actual questions. 60 Minutes is still a pathetic, disgusting, left-wing tabloid you should never take seriously. However, they asked a couple of questions and tried to pin Kamala Harris down on a freaking answer. So Bill Whitaker asked Kamala Harris, hey, man, you guys scrapped all of these Donald Trump basically successful border control programs he had, quadruple the number of illegals entered the country. Do you regret any of that? I want you to listen to how, again, she bullshits Whitaker. He knows it, but he lets it go. This is why these people don't deserve a pass. They're using the CBP One app to fly people over the border now. That's the only reason the, quote, numbers are down. Listen to this pathetic non-answer. Check this out.
Correct.
But there was an historic flood of undocumented immigrants coming across the border the first 3 years of your administration. As a matter of fact, arrivals quadrupled from the last year of President Trump. Was it a mistake to loosen the immigration policies as much as you did?
It's a long-standing problem. and solutions are at hand. And from day one, literally, we have been offering solutions.
What I was asking was it a mistake to kind of allow that flood to happen in the first place?
I think the policies that we have been proposing are about fixing a problem, not promoting a problem. Okay?
But the numbers did quadruple.
And the numbers today, because of what we have done, we have cut the flow of illegal immigration by half.
But should you
we
have done
cut
that?
the flow of fentanyl by half, but we need Congress to be able to act to actually fix the problem.
Do me a favor, pull this up. I can't do this again. Pull up INA 212F, Immigration Nationality Act 212F. Folks, I cannot believe there are still absolute morons out there, you freaking liberal idiots, who are still propagating this categorically false talking point that the president and vice president can do nothing about the border now. It is fake. It is phony. This lady is lying to you because either you're an idiot and she knows it, or you're not an idiot and she thinks you won't fact check her. There is no other reason she is allowed to get away with this. Bill Whitaker, do your homework. The numbers at the border, although reaching catastrophic levels, have only gone down because they're flying people in. Bill, you know this. Why not just fact check her one time? Why not say to her, ma'am, that is inaccurate. You are flying people in, giving them de facto amnesty, and your point about Congress is wrong. The president can do this now. Congress is free to pass new legislation as well. The president could close the border today. There it is, folks, on the screen right now. You want me to read it for you, liberal fucking morons? Whenever the president finds the entry of any aliens or class of aliens into the United States would be detrimental to the interest of the United States, he may by proclamation, liberal dumb, this means he can just proclaim it. And for such a period as he shall deem necessary. In other words, for however long, suspend the entry of all aliens, or any class of aliens, as immigrants or non-immigrants, or impose on the entry of aliens any restrictions, liberal dipshits, any restrictions, any more he may deem to be appropriate. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I have my Jim Mora playoffs poker chip someone sent me. I don't like things out of order. He moved around. I got Mary hit too, Virgin Mary. Got to move her back. She got bounced around. Can't have that happen. And then my cross. Put it up again. Anyone ever going to show this to Kamala Harris and ask her to explain that? Any restrictions he may deem to any restrictions. Justin, what does any restrictions mean he may deem appropriate? It means literally any restrictions. Michael said it right. It's very confusing language. It kind of limits his restrictions, doesn't it? Yeah, by saying he may impose any restrictions he may deem to be appropriate. Bill, did you know this? This is why I hate 60 Minutes. This is why I'm actually stunned they even asked the question. Bill Whitaker could do some homework. You know what it is? They have to ask the question to make it seem like they're a serious news outlet. And then when Kamala Harris gives a bullshit answer, if that was a Trump question, by the way, Bill Whitaker would have never stopped until he got an answer on it, okay? This is what they do. They let her lie and bullshit you. Here was 60 Minutes trying to run cover for Sir yesterday, Leslie Stahl, after their debacle. I want to show you this segment last time, which was it really embarrassing. 60 Minutes is a disgusting, filthy, communist outlet. They get no respect from me. You should never get any respect from you. It's nothing more than left-wing tabloid trash. So, of course, they gave a softball interview to Kamala Harris, never followed up on a single freaking thing. Here they are at this little disclaimer in the beginning of the show after Leslie Stahl hilariously claimed that they didn't spy on Trump and that they had no way to verify the laptop, a Hunter Biden laptop that had already been verified by the FBI. Here they are running interference for Leslie Stahl last night's pathetic pieces of garbage. Watch this.
Trump said he needed an apology for his interview in 2020. Trump claims correspondent Leslie Stahl said in that interview that Hunter Biden's controversial laptop came from Russia. She never said that.
You see how they play word games? The media was running a story that the Hunter Biden laptop had all the signs of a Russian intelligence operation. So Leslie Stahl, if she would have done a modicum of research, would have found out that the laptop had already been authenticated. Because she's not a serious journalist, here's what she told Donald Trump during that interview, pretending there was no way for her to verify it, implying that the Russian laptop story was true. You notice how they play these word games? These people are disgusting filth, folks. Watch this.
Biggest scandals I've ever seen, and you don't cover it. You want to talk about...
Well, because it can't be verified.
You want to talk about insignificant things.
I'm telling you.
Of course it can be verified. Excuse me, they found the laptop. Leslie.
Can't be verified.
What can't be verified?
The laptop.
Why do you say that?
Because
even the family hasn't... The family on the laptop, he's gone into hiding. For 5 days, he's gone into hiding.
He's preparing for your debate.
Oh.
Folks, this network's disgusting. I've got more coming up from these interviews in tomorrow show. I want to get to, because she had another awful interview too. There's a reason Kamala Harris was the most unpopular vice president in U.S. history. The reason is she sucks, folks. This woman sucks. Everything she touched, she destroyed. Listen to me. Government is a metastasizing, rotting cancer in your life. If you show up to the doctor with a big lump in your neck and it turns out you're dying of stage 57 cancer, that's what government is in your life. That's government. It is a metastasizing parasite. It steals your money and it destroys lives with it. That is what government is. It pays idiots like Kamala Harris to go out there and propagate a bunch of bullshit discredited by... Justin, how long did it take you to look up INA 212F? Seriously. 2 seconds, 5 seconds to type it in? Bill Whitaker doesn't know that? Kamala Harris is lying to the entire country. You liberal morons, I am so sick of you idiots. Can you guys please just like secede from the union? Just go. We'll let you go. I'm not interested in any kind of political violence whatsoever. I'm repulsed by the idea. We'll give you California. We'll tell you what, conservative states, we'll do some kind of like subsidy to help the conservative folks, pull them out. We'll, help them with their businesses, relocate. There's a lot of smart conservatives in California. Just go. Just get the fuck out of our lives. You people are so fucking stupid. I can't take it anymore. No one wants to live near you. Even liberals don't want to live near liberals. That's why everybody moves out of liberal states. Nobody can stand you morons. It takes nothing more than 5 to 10 seconds of research to realize every single thing they're telling you is bullshit. Everything, folks. Everything. As you can tell, had some blackout coffee this morning, folks. Quite a few. It's time to be awake, not woke. I'm going to read my own spot here. Here's the website first, because you need to go get some. I love this company. John, the owner of the company, loves this country, loves the Second Amendment, loves everything we stand for. He loves our vets. He loves our people who serve in the military. He's a good guy. The website's blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. It's fresh, ships within 48 hours of roasting, and the coffee just tastes good. Listen, it's one thing to go, hey, listen, buy my coffee because I love America. Great, we love America too, but is the coffee good? Part of, loving your country and producing a business, producing a good product. The product's amazing. They have the cinnamon French toast flavor, which is incredible, dark chocolate, blueberry crumble. They have the ready-to-drink. Where's my can? They have a ready-to-drink, skip the brew, pick some of this up. I keep it in the fridge. I can't get enough of it. Justin's obsessed with it. John, send Justin a case, please. Give Justin a case. He's going back to college. He's got to study and stuff. John, hey, send him a case of the ready-to-drink. It's the right thing to do. Blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. He's struggling a little bit. Kid's in college, so he's working his ass off. Switch to Blackout Coffee. Go to blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. Use coupon code Bongino for 20% off your first order. Seriously, folks, the coffee's amazing. It's a great company. I love it. It's the official coffee of the Bongino Army. Blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. Code Bongino for 20% off your first order. Thanks, Blackout. We appreciate it. Also, our last sponsor today, folks, Tax Network USA. Student loan forgiveness, handouts, free everything, folks. Everyone's getting a freebie except you. You've been an honest tax-paying citizen for like forever. But when COVID and tough times happened, you fell behind with unfiled tax returns. And instead of forgiveness, the IRS is hiring thousands of new agents to come after you. But don't go fight the IRS by yourself. You need Tax Network USA. Their aggressive strategies are designed to help solve your IRS problems quickly and in your favor. They have preferred direct lines to the IRS. They know which agents to work with and which agents to avoid. Tax Network USA specializes in helping to reduce or help eliminate your tax debt. They've helped resolve over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Some of these tax solutions expire. You don't want to wait on this. Tax Network USA is owned by fellow patriots, and they're giving you a free consultation. Here's the number. 1-800-958-1000. That's 1-800-958-1000, or visit tnusa.com/Dan, tnusa.com/Dan. Thanks, Tax Network. We appreciate it. So, Kamala Harris, again, while people are drowning and Joe Biden is sunning his tiny testicles on the beach of Delaware, hoping nobody notices he has nothing on the schedule while people are drowning, recovering dead bodies in trees, discovering their entire towns have been wiped out, highways have been wiped out, and you've got Hurricane Milton getting ready to destroy the Gulf Coast of Florida. And yes, folks, we're live. We're live. It is 11:35 and 37 seconds Eastern time. I promise you. Sometimes we do live premieres. Not today. Today, the show is live. The overwhelming. I don't want you to think like I'm faking the funk today. We're in a hurricane zone on the other side, too. We're here because this show matters. I'm not going to ask you to show up if I'm not going to show up. But what's Kamala Harris doing? She's on a podcast called Call Her Daddy. Call Her Daddy. And yes, the title is what you think it is. There's probably no kids around after that opening today, but you get the point. Now, I do not begrudge people for success in their podcasts. I do not know Alex Cooper, who hosts the show. She, however, is very successful. I don't watch the show, folks, at all. I candidly have no idea what it's about. I know who she is because I follow the podcast space. But fine, you have a product and it's successful. Great, good for you. Should the vice president of the United States, currently running for president, 20 plus days out from an election, while bodies are still being pulled out of trees in North Carolina and elsewhere, and there's a hurricane should she be on a podcast that focuses on sex and threesomes and stuff like that? I'm just not sure that's a good idea. Call me crazy. I'm not necessarily old-fashioned. I'm just saying. Good idea. Justin says, great optics. Maybe go on the Weather Channel or something, Fox Weather, do an interview about what you guys are doing, give maybe some disaster preparedness. Just an idea, folks. Here's Kamala Harris and Alex Cooper. Alex Cooper, unfortunately, again, I don't begrudge this one. She's not a political commentator, and I'm not going to pick fights with people who really don't know anything anyway. However, Alex Cooper asks one of the dumbest questions I've ever heard in my life because she just doesn't know a lot about a lot. She asked Kamala Harris, they're talking about abortion, and she doesn't even ask. She just kind of implies that there are no laws out there that govern what men can do with their bodies. Really? You sure? I want you to think about that for a second. It'll take you about 5 seconds to figure it out. Kamala Harris can't, and neither can Alex Cooper. Here, listen to this.
And I want to pose this question more to you and the Daddy Gang, but one of the biggest conversations in this year's election revolves around a woman's body.
Yep.
I want to take a moment, and can we try to think of any law that gives the government the power to make a decision
I know what you're going to ask.
about a man's body? Let's
No.
just pause.
No.
Is there any law?
No. It's no. Look, we are a work in progress.
No, you're not a work in progress. You're a tier 1 level freaking imbecile is what you are. Yes, we do have a law that governs what men can do with their bodies. You know what that law says? You guys have any idea? It says when you reach a certain age, you have to take your body and you have to go and sign up for this thing called the draft, selective service, where you will take your body and you will actually go and fight when the United States government tells you to go and fight. You know, I know that. I know that because my grandfather fought in the Battle of the Bulge and came back scarred over it. And my uncle, Gregory Ambrose, who is a hero of mine, I never met him. You know why I never met him? Because he's dead. Because he was told to take his body overseas to a place called Vietnam. I'm not sure Alex and Kamal have actually heard of the place. He went over there, and he was given the Bronze Star with a V device for valor for being shot in the back while trying to save his friends south of Thu Duc, because they told him to take his body and go over there. Kamala Harris is running to be the commander-in-chief, and is either one of two things: an absolute freaking tier 1 imbecile, which is probably likely, or second, an abject, pathetic, grotesque liar, which is also possible. You give her both. Why did the fan go off, by the way? Oh, yeah, I got to get that sucker back on. It's like, folks, do I look a little gooey now, like sweaty here? It is warm, I know. You guys got to be dying over there. But it's not, listen, this is nothing compared to warm, like boo-hoo. You got people who've lost their whole freaking town. Not to you, to me. I'm the one complaining about it. But this is nothing. This woman, you don't know about drug laws? You know, there are drug laws, too. You may not agree with them, but Kamala Harris is pretending that men can do whatever with it. Really, men can do whatever? Can I sit here on the thing and start snorting lines of cocaine? The cops be at my door in a minute. I don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. Friends don't let friends do drugs. Remember the egg and the pan thing? They're probably too young. But it just goes to show you again, the woman's either a freaking imbecile or she's just a really untalented sociopathic liar like her boss, Oatmeal Brains. You know what? That's actually true, too. I mean, what if you're a man in the womb and there's a law that says that they can kill you in the womb? That's actually the abortion law. She doesn't even realize that. I did this for you. I did you a little favor. I pulled this off Twitter the other day. You know what supercut this was, by the way? Here's a supercut of really stupid Kamala Harris answers, because you may be thinking, yes, she's obviously a sociopathic liar. But I'm serious when I tell you this. The answer about a law over men's bodies, I really just think the woman's an imbecile. Watch this quick 1-minute cut of stupid Kamala Harris moments, and you'll see what I mean. The woman, folks, is really, really dumb. She's probably dumber than Joe Biden. Check this out.
There are reports that say that you have the lowest approval rating of any vice president.
Well, there are polls that also say I have great approval ratings.
Swing voters don't like Harris. How big a drag is Kamala Harris on the ticket?
She's a pretty big drag. I think she was arguably Biden's worst political decision.
They don't like her. There's lots of reasons they don't like her.
Kamala Harris's approval rating is now at 28%, which is an historic low for any modern vice president.
We're hearing it from mainstream media, one outlet after another, one leak after another. That Kamala Harris is the worst vice president ever, the worst politician ever.
We don't see the vice president. What people are saying to me, and I'm sure they're saying it to you, where's the vice president? Some White House officials are feeling that she came off looking unprepared for inevitable questions about when she might visit the southern border.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making.
The point that Lester Holt was making was obvious to anyone else who was watching this interview, which is that the issues at the border are inextricably linked with the portfolio that she's been given.
Folks, the woman is an idiot. Every single thing she touches, she destroys. Now, we need to chill a minute, okay? Well, you don't need to chill. One of the things about this show is, yes, I'm clearly a little angry today. I am living in Florida, a state where people's lives are about to be completely destroyed in 24 hours. We've got one asshole out there buying hammock pouch underwear for his balls in Mayorkas. We got another one testicular tanning on the beach in Biden. We've got another one doing freaking his picture. I can't get enough. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, you got to go watch Rumble. The picture is just so embarrassing, right? You've got another one cackling on a threesome podcast, and then out there doing karaoke at a Hollywood fundraiser while people are drowning. But I don't want to let my emotion get in the way of facts, because if you don't come away learning something, this is a waste of time. So the takeaway from the beginning, which now 160,500 people. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden-Harris administration has the authority to shut down the border right now. Immigration Nationality Act, Section 212F. Write it down, look it up, tattoo it on your arm. I don't want to hear shit from you should never lose an argument with your liberal friends. Pull it right up on your phone and go, please read this. Any restrictions, any class of aliens, any time for anything. Please read this again. Please read it. Just shut up and read it again, okay? Here's another one. You're going to come away, and I don't ever want to hear this argument again. If I hear one more left-wing lunatic, lazy... Give my thing. Is it time, fellas? Here. This was my liberal guide to loan repayment, but it also is a liberal guide to economics. I call it Bonginomics, okay? Here. It's called Don't Be a Fucking Bum. Go to work, you loser. Go to work. Here it is, Kamala Harris and all the other lazy slobs out there. Get here. That says rump. That means your ass. Take your ass. You see it? I even point to it. For those of you who don't know, it's in the nether region right here, okay? I'm not a very talented artist. Take your ass. Here's the arrow. It points to this thing that looks like a building. That's called a fucking job. Go get a job, you lazy bums, and you will get money. You will go and get money. That's how, you want to talk about income distribution? There is an income distribution center. It's called a job. So here's Bonginomics. Don't be a bum. Don't be a bum. Read it fast. Don't be a bum. Read it slow. Don't be a bum. You can even read it backwards. Don't be a bum. Don't be a bum. No, be a bum. Don't be a bum. Rump, job, money. Did you miss it? Don't be a bum. Don't be a bum like this guy. Don't be a bum like me. Don't be a fucking bum. Go to work. Get a job. Don't be this guy. Be a bum. Don't be a bum.
8.
Don't be a bum. Get a job. You losers. Why am I bringing this up? Why am I in a mood today? Because here she was again, back to 60 Minutes. She's asked a pretty simple question. Hey, how the hell are you going to pay for all of this bullshit you keep saying you're going to do? Any idea? Any idea? You're already stealing everyone's money. Here she goes with the bullshit left-wing talking point. Check this out.
My plan is about saying that when you invest in small businesses, you invest in the middle class, and you strengthen America's economy. Small businesses are part of the backbone of America's economy.
But pardon me, Madam Vice President, the question was, how are you going to pay for it?
Well, one of the things is I'm going to make sure that the richest among us who can afford it pay their fair share in taxes. It is not right that teachers and nurses and firefighters are paying a higher tax rate than billionaires and the biggest corporations. And I plan on making that fair.
But we're dealing with the real world here.
But the real world includes...
How are you going to get this through Congress?
You know, when you talk quietly with a lot of folks in Congress, they know exactly what I'm talking about because their constituents know exactly what I'm talking about. Their constituents are those firefighters and teachers and nurses.
Again, liberals, why are you so freaking stupid? You understand you can look this up, right? Just like you can look up Immigration Nationality Act, Section 212F. Do you understand this, right? Why are you so freaking stupid? Folks, you're dealing with morons in the Democrat Party. I'm not telling you Republicans are the solution to all your problems. They screw up a whole bunch of shit themselves. I'm just telling you the cause of all your problems is unquestionably the Democrats. And the reason they never give you an honest answer on anything is because if they were to tell you what the problem is, they would have to say what? The problem is us. Now, because I'm absolutely committed to this show being informative. I am now going to give you IRS data from the Biden administration to prove to you for the umpteenth time that this idiot is either a moron and doesn't know who pays the taxes in this country or a sociopathic liar. Here we go. I've only put this article up about 10 times. The U.S. already soaks the rich. Wall Street Journal. Biden should examine the IRS data. Recently released figures for 2021 show that the top 1% of Americans reported 26% of the country's adjusted gross income. Okay, let's keep this up a second. So liberals who are too freaking dumb to understand this. I know some of you don't like economics, but I'm sorry. Pay close attention. This is important. The top 1% of earners in this country earn 26% of the income. They pay 45.8% of total income taxes, nearly twice in what they earn. Nearly 46 cents of every dollar of income taxes is paid by the top 1% of earners. Folks, those people don't owe Kamala Harris shit. They are already financing nearly half of the government. The bottom 99%, doesn't mean bottom like the, means less than the 1%, only pay about 54% of the taxes. 99 out of 100 people only pay about half. If you are going to make the argument like Kamala Harris about a fair share, then just be honest. Okay, Dan, you missed something though. Well, what about our talking point that the rich people pay a lower tax rate than firefighters and teachers? Folks, can you guys look this up? What's the average teacher, firefighter salary? Is that possible? Well, look it up. Can we agree if you're a teacher? If my cousin's a teacher, she's here staying with us now because of the hurricane. What's the average teacher salary across the country, folks? What is it? 60, 50, 67. So I was close. 67,000. Firefighters, dangerous job. What is it? 70 maybe, 67 with inflation. Who knows? Okay. I started with the Secret Service. I was making $27,000 a year. With the NYPD, I made $23,000. Okay? So we can agree those are pretty middle class, correct? Right? So what are the top 1%? What are they paying right now? What is their tax rate? He says, finally, we come to the top 1%. There are 1.5 million returns, and that's in excess of $682,500 a year. That's a lot of money, right? Their share of income taxes paid, again, was 45%. Their average tax rate was 25.9, so 26%. That's the 1%. The tippy top, 0.1%, had a rate of 25.7. So again, roughly 26%. Round down, just to be nice. Their tax rate federally is 25%. Kamala Harris is saying that's less. So you're telling me firefighters and teachers pay more than 25%? I don't know. Let's check it out. So here we get to middle class. The middle class, the upper middle class, their average tax rate, 7.2%. I'm sorry, the middle class. The upper middle class, 10.3. So what you're telling me is the top 1% pay double and triple what the middle class pays, and they pay the burden of the taxes in the country. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. So why is Kamala Harris lying? Because she's a loser, folks. She's a loser. That's why. Kamala Harris is a loser. A loser who's never had a job. She is lazy. She is stupid. She has never had a freaking job. She is a loser. So she doesn't care that people who earn $500,000, 600,000, who may have been poor their whole lives and finally got a nice job in the tech space. She doesn't give a shit. She's a loser. So she lies. You want people who make $500,000 and $600,000 to pay more? Then you know what? Thank them for paying what they pay and say, we're going to ask you for more. I'm going to tell you, no, I don't vote for that. But at least you be honest. Instead, the woman lies because that's exactly who she is, folks. That's exactly who she is. And we got another storm barreling down in the Gulf. This is going to be, again, the Trump interview tomorrow. I know you all know. I saw Anita put it up. It's canceled. We'll do a regular show. We will be here. I may have to tape early the Thursday show. I know you guys understand. We will do shows this week. I will get them in no matter what. I need to be here with you. I need to be here for folks. I'm having a bit of a rough time. I'm sorry. Because I'm really upset, folks. I'm unusually upset today. I just want you to watch this. Maybe we'll go out with this today. You wondering why the hurricane response by FEMA has been so freaking pathetic? You wondering why Mayorkas is going out to buy high-end underwear while people are dying? You wonder why Kamala Harris is on a threesomes podcast while while people are dying? You want to see why FEMA can't get anything right? Did you see this video went viral yesterday on the internet of a FEMA emergency preparedness meeting? This is real. This is not Saturday Night Live. This is FEMA talking about LGBTQ awareness and stuff and how it affects their emergency planning. This is almost hard to believe that this is not parody, but real life. Check this out.
Sparked a few things in my mind, thinking about preparedness and how you said, LGBTQIA people and people who have been disadvantaged already are struggling. They already have their own things to deal with. So you add a disaster on top of that. It's just compounding on itself. And I think that is maybe the why of why we're having these discussions, is because it isn't being talked about. It isn't being socialized. We're not paying attention to this community.
Let's go. On an important note first, I don't know if you saw this viral Weather Channel clip here. There was a clip yesterday that shows some of the damage that can happen with this massive storm surge. Folks, I feel an obligation as a Florida resident. This is turning into a national story. We have had no leadership at the federal level. It has completely collapsed. These states are pretty much on their own. The FEMA response, the federal government response has been absolutely dreadful. So I feel an obligation to be helpful in this and not to be a hindrance like the federal government. Here's a Weather Channel simulation. It was all over the internet yesterday. Here's about a minute of it about what happens when this storm surge, which is going to happen up on the Gulf and on our coast too. We are now in that cone of uncertainty on the East Coast. So I'll more on that on the other side, but check this out first.
3 feet above normally dry ground, water is already life-threatening. It's too late to evacuate. Water this high can knock you off your feet, make cars float, and driving impossible. The first floor of homes and businesses are flooded. Unfortunately, the water is expected to rise even higher at 6 feet above the height of most people. Vehicles get carried away, structures start to fail. Just look at this. Anything could be in this water, sharp glass, debris, chemicals as well. The scary part is some areas could see surge values at 10 to 15 feet. And this takes us up to 9. And look what it does. At this level, the first floors of structures are completely flooded, and there are few places that it is safe when the water rises this high. We want everyone to know their evacuation zone, listen to local officials, and evacuate when ordered to do so. In Jordan.
Folks, we right here where I am in Martin County, we are now on the East Coast side of this cone. I don't know what's going to happen. I know we'll be here tomorrow. If we have to record a little early, we will. We will be here. I hope you're here too. I will give you an update what it looks like on the ground. Many of you have been through hurricanes before. Some of you have not. It's really not a pleasant situation at all. Like I said, it sounds like there's a jet engine outside of your bedroom. You can't sleep. You're freaked out. Things blow away. You lose everything. You have anything outside, forget about it. So we've been preparing. Like I said, the generators aren't really working. We're trying to fix this problem. So we've got a ton of issues going on here. But you guys matter to me. The show matters to me. And so does this election. This is no time for dicking around. This is no time for freaking sob stories. I don't care if the damn studio blows away. We're going to get something out, okay? Because we've got a freaking election to win, and it is the most consequential election of our lifetime because we are running against an actual imbecile who will have the nuclear codes. This woman, I'm convinced every day, not only has no aptitude, she's got a little bit of achievement. I will give her that. She's got she's got her law degree, whatever. Let's not run away and pop the champagne bottles. She has no aptitude. She has no resume. She has no CV. She has no leadership skills. And I'm really starting to question if this woman is even of average IQ. She is a moron. Who does this on a nationally televised late night show that, maybe 1 million people watch? It's not that big of an audience. Used to be bigger. Here's Stephen Colbert, whatever his name, I don't know. He tries to sound smart. Here she is whipping out yet another accent. We're going to try to get a compilation for tomorrow's show of all the Kamala accents. This is real. This is not AI. You really believe this is going to be your next president? Check this out.
Have you no empathy, man?
Yes.
For the suffering of other people. Have you no sense of purpose?
Folks, how many fake accents are we going to have to put up with? Who does this? See, most of you hang around with average to high average to above average IQ people. You don't do this when you're drunk on a couple of PBRs, okay? Nobody does this. Why does she continue to do this? The answer is because she's an idiot. She has you know what social IQ is? You can go read books about it. Social intelligence. It is a really important feature some people have. Very successful people have it. They may not be mathematicians, engineers. They may not have the highest actual IQ, but they have an amazing ability to interact with people. And what they can do is they can get in other people's heads, basically, and see how other people see them. So when they're talking too much at, say, a group function, they can sense other people are frustrated with them and they shut up. Low social IQ people, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, you see they have this feature where they just don't understand that they sound like idiots. This woman is not a leader. This is not what leadership looks like. The word has gone out now that she may have skipped some operational briefings before Helene and these storms, that she skipped them. She's the vice president of the United States. This woman is not a leader. Every single thing Joe Biden has done to you, the border, the public safety crisis, the global chaos, the inflation crisis, the record historic deficits. You see, we're at 1.83 trillion annual deficits this year alone. This is crazy. She has been at the table as the final person in the room okaying all of this. That's not what leadership looks like. This is what leadership looks like. Here's Governor Ron DeSantis down here in Florida, who's no time for this bullshit at all. Here's DeSantis telling Kamala, unless you're down here to make decisions and allocate resources, stop wasting my mother time and calling us. You're wasting our time. Listen to this.
My focus has not been on dealing with Kamala Harris. I saw the news report. I didn't know she tried to contact me. But I'd also say it's not about you, Kamala. Right. It's about the people of Florida. My focus is exactly where it should be. And I can tell you this. I've worked on these hurricanes under both President Trump and President Biden. Neither of them ever tried to politicize it. She has never called on any of the storms we've had since she's been vice president until apparently now. Why all of a sudden is she trying to parachute in and inject herself when she's never shown any interest in the past? We know it's because of politics. We know it's because of her campaign. I have zero time to entertain these political games. We're going to continue to do what we need to do to prepare and respond to what may be one of the most damaging storms in the history of the United States. So she says focusing on protecting your people is selfish. I think she ought to look in the mirror.
Verdict is in. Kamala sucks. That is how it's done. They've got electrical linemen, heroes, by the way. Love you guys and ladies out there. To the linemen out there getting ready to restore power to the state of Florida, God bless you. God bless you. To all the truckers out there getting ready, lining up, getting ready to restock the stores so people down here can eat and get gas again. God loves you. We love you, man, our audience. Thank them in the chat. Thank them in the chat because that's what we do here. America's full of heroes who work every day. And these asshole politicians are not them. Are not them. This is how you prepare a state for a disaster. You get out there in front of the people every year. What's Kamala Harris doing? She's faking a Jamaican accent, drinking beer on Stephen Colbert's show. Folks, the Democrats hate you. I am sorry. Thank you, folks in the chat. I really appreciate it. You guys are good folks. I meant it. And you linemen and you in the chat and you truckers out there, know we love you. You work for a living. And by the way, I don't care what your party registration is. I care that you work for a living, okay? I care that you work for a living. I want you to know you always have a home here. I come from a family of people who work for a living. My dad was a plumber. My mom worked at checkout counter in a finest supermarket. My brother's an electrician. I was a cop. My other brother was an agent. We're not some family of silver spoon babies. I get it, man. This is why we're all frustrated and pissed off at all these losers, folks. The Democrat Party freaking hates you. I am sorry to tell you this. They hate you. Why do they want to tax you more? Because the Democrat Party says, you mother are too stupid to spend your own money. Give it to us. Why won't they let you pick where your kid goes to school and they hate school choice? Because they're like, you dumb mother. You guys don't know where to send your kids to school. We're going to tell you. Why does Kamala Harris want to ban private health care? Because she's like, you dumb, you don't know how to pick your own doctor. I'm going to do it for you. They hate you. When are you going to get this through your head, people? Democrats hate you. They hate your guts. They lie to your face. They took your money, they whipped out their units, and they pissed it down the toilet like this. Here was a Democrat. Here, all over the floor, too. They gave your FEMA money to illegals. How many times we got to put this little chart up? I'll put it up later in the show. They press released it. It was from a different pot. No, it's from one pot. You know which pot it's from? Your pot. Your pot. You see my wallet on the desk? My wallet's lighter because I had to give money to these idiots who gave it to illegals. It came from one pot, and they gave it to illegals out of FEMA funds. How many times we got to show this to you? And you got the media covering for these assholes. The Democrats hate you. I'm not telling you Republicans are lovely either. That's not what I'm saying. Don't even put words in my mouth. I'm just telling you your problems are being caused by these assholes, and they're Democrats, the majority of them now, in the Senate and definitely in the White House. You want to see how much they hate you? Here's David Axelrod. This guy is Obama's brain. Obama doesn't do or say anything without acts. We had the unfortunate experience of being around this guy in the White House when I worked there. The dude is a snake. He doesn't like Biden, by the way. He can't stand him. He loves Obama. Anytime Axelrod talks, assume it's Obama. These two are like Siamese twins attached at the head, sharing neurons. Here he is saying the quiet part out loud. These people hate you. That all of you real victims of this horror in North Carolina and elsewhere, Hurricane Helene, the Gulf, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, who got wrecked by this hurricane, and your government has absolutely abandoned you. Here's Axelrod saying, you know, if you live in the mountains and stuff and you vote Republican, you're probably too stupid to figure out to vote. But the blue counties in North Carolina, they're really smart, unlike you idiots. Ladies and gentlemen, listen for yourself. You think I'm making it up. These people hate you. Check this out.
Here's my question about North Carolina. You had these killer storms, which, by the way, was a third big story this week.
Yes,
these
another
storms. And there's a lot of displacement in western North Carolina. Now, Asheville is a blue dot in that area.
I was going to say, Asheville's
voters there.
Yeah.
But those voters in Asheville are, they're the kind of voters who will figure out a way to vote. You know, they're upscale kind of liberal voters, and they're probably going to figure out a way to vote. I'm not sure a bunch of these folks who've had their homes and lives destroyed elsewhere in western North Carolina in the mountains there are going to be as easy to wrangle for the Trump campaign. So,
folks, let me tell you something. There's a book out there. I did not publish it. The author is since deceased. It's one of the most incredible books ever. I think Andrew Wilkow loves the book too. Someone gave it to me years ago, 10 years ago when I lived in Severna Park, Maryland. The book's called The Revolt Against the Masses by Fred Siegel. It's a deep book. It's not like casual Saturday night reading, but it's a book about basically why the modern liberal hates your guts. And you will never, ever, ever, ever be the party of the middle class. They pretend tolerance, coexistence, the party of the working man. It is all bullshit. What Axelrod said there is the epitome of what the book is about. The modern liberal despises you. They exist in their mama's basement. They want to go work for a nonprofit later. They have zero life skills whatsoever. They took basically a social science degree in college and learned about 14th century Egyptians' women's rights, something that has no applicability in the modern AI environment at all. You can learn about it in 10 seconds using ChatGPT. They have no skills. So they feel like because they're they say all the proper shibboleths and all the code words to be part of this liberal aristocracy. They wonder why they've got to deal with the great unwashed, the smellies, and the Walmart people like you. Ironically, the people that keep them alive, the linemen, the plumbers, the truckers, the food service workers, the people out there actually working for a living. These people hate you, folks. I would read to you a line from the book. It's one of my favorites about the new liberal aristocracy, how they're convinced that they should be like the old school Europeans, costumed and walking around with like bow ties and stuff because they say all the proper code words. I can't emphasize enough that these people hate you. You should play that Axelrod thing on loop. And by the way, let me... My hydrogen water thing. So good, it just stopped. I need it. Hold on, I got to take a break a second. Stand by. I don't mean to waste your time, but this is an important point. Wait, is that a hint? I've been asking you to vote early. I've been begging you to vote early. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what else it's going to take to convince you. Something else is going to happen. What did I say to you about voting early? There's going to be a snowstorm, a rainstorm. Folks, even I didn't anticipate two absolutely destructive natural disasters like we haven't seen in modern times. In Florida, if you can, vote today. Today. Please, I am begging you. Because something else is in the hopper. And if you doubt me, doubt is good. It keeps me frosty. I'm going to play a little short video for you from Fox next about something that was planned on Election Day. Get your vote in now, or you may never get the opportunity. Please, I'm begging you. Let me take a quick break. Folks, a medical test can help reveal your body's biological age, which could show if you're aging prematurely. Better nutrition is shown to help reverse one's biological age. My hope is to live longer and healthier. I don't want to live long and unhealthy. That's why I take Field of Greens. It is an organic superfood I swear by. It's a fruit and vegetable drink unlike any other. It's serious nutrition. Field of Greens was approved for a university study that doctors believe may lower your body's biological age. That generally means better health. Each fruit and vegetable in Field of Greens was selected by their doctors to help support vital body organs, the heart, liver, kidneys, metabolism, and your immune system. Only Field of Greens is backed by this better health promise. Here it is. At your next physical or checkup, I bet your doctor will notice your improved health or your money back. I've already showed you my blood work. I could show you again. I'm going to be 50 in December. Join me in better health today with 15% off and free shipping. Visit brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. Use promo code Dan. That's promo code Dan at brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. brickhousenutrition.com/Dan. Thank you, Brickhouse Nutrition. Folks, I promise you, I love you guys in the real heavenly, otherworldly sense of the word love. And I feel like a bond with you. I talk to you. We chat with each other. I read your Facebook, your True Social, your Twitter messages. There isn't a host out there who has a better relationship. There are posts out there who have as good, but no one better. I love you guys. When I beg you to do something, beg you. I'm not running for office. I'm not asking you to vote for me. I'm not running. I will not be running. I'm asking you to go and vote for you, not for me, because you may not be able to vote on Election Day. Dan, don't scare people. Don't scare people. I'm not scaring anyone. The Department of Homeland Security has already put out a memo saying that there could be DDoS internet attacks on Election Day. Why would they be saying that? They're either lying to cover up what some internal actor's doing, which means vote early because they're doing it, or they're not lying and someone's going to shut down some polling location or attack it somewhere and you should still vote early. This has already happened in Maricopa. There have been floods that have broken out in Georgia. This has already happened, Election Day issues. What other evidence could you possibly need? Now let me pile one more on you. Folks, this seems awfully coincidental 20 days out. Here's a Fox News report from Brett Baer about a planned terror attack on Election Day. Are there more out there? Was this guy part of a cell? Oh, and conveniently, this Afghani, who's the alleged terrorist in this case, looking for an Election Day attack, was let in the country on a special visa after the fall of Afghanistan under Biden-Harris. Nothing to see here, folks. Check this out.
Breaking tonight, the FBI says it has foiled a terror plot set to take place inside the U.S. on Election Day. A criminal complaint just unsealed within the last 30 minutes says 27-year-old Nasser Tahedi conspired with ISIS and obtained firearms and ammunition to conduct that attack in the name of the terrorist organization, ISIS. The Justice Department says he took steps to move his family overseas and acquire machine guns and ammunition. FBI Director Chris Wray says tonight, quote, this defendant, motivated by ISIS, allegedly conspired to commit a violent attack on Election Day here in our homeland. Terrorism is still the FBI's #1 priority, and we will use every resource to protect the American people.
Folks, how many more of these are out there? I'm just passing you the news, man. I'm just passing you the news. Please get out and vote early. If they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat anyway. You can bank your vote and you can at least check it. I can't ask you this enough. Me, Donald Trump, Laura Trump, Scott Pressler, you've got Charlie Kirk and others. People who have lived this movement for decades now are asking you to vote early. Why would we be doing this for any other reason? Please. Because you're running against this, folks. They treat their fellow liberals like morons. Kamala Harris was on The View yesterday, and they treat their fellow liberals like morons, and the morons will run this place, and it'll be two wolves and a sheep deciding what's for dinner. Folks, every single right you have will be up for the taking if we lose this election. The only question is who's going to be investigated and when and how much jail time we're going to be looking at. These people are dangerous. Here she is on The View today. You're all being played. Any of you suckers out there watch my show who bizarrely may be considering Kamala Harris as the change agent, she's telling you the same shit is going to happen. Inflation problems under Biden, economic problems, job market problems, border problems, public safety problems. She's global chaos. She is telling you nothing is going to change. You don't have to listen to me. It's not a conspiracy theory. Listen to her. She brings her own receipts. All I've got to do is play her own clips. Listen to this.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
I don't know if that's an actual Donald Trump ad, and Wokeness put that up. It should be. Nothing is going to change, folks. As Justin just said, she keeps saying she's going to turn the page. From what? Every single time she's asked What would you do differently than your president now that you sit in his administration? She says nothing. What do you think is going to change? If you are a young man or woman out there, what do you think is going to change? What's going to change? Even if you're a young woman out there, listen to me, who's voting for Kamala Harris because you heard like girl power or some bullshit, and you're voting on the abortion issue, I'm not going to spin your wheels. I am pro-life from conception to natural death. Folks, to my chagrin, Donald Trump doesn't have that position right now, at least when it comes to legislation. What his personal position is, I don't really know. That's not his position. His position is Roe v. Wade's been overturned. The states have it right now, and the states are going to vote how the states are going to vote. If you live in California, nothing changes for you. Frankly, I wish it did. It's not. You're voting on a non-issue. Not that it's not an issue, but it's not a legislative one, and it's not a priority for this guy. Again, I'm just telling you the truth. You're voting for shitty jobs, an open border, global chaos, and more inflation, more debt, and government bankruptcy for an issue that you're not even going to be impacted by. It's really stunning how they treat their voters like absolute morons. Morons. This woman is telling you nothing is going to change. How many times is she going to be asked this question and give the same answer before you wake up? And the media are playing you for suckers too. Folks, I told you not to take a victory lap over 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes is a bullshit tabloid network where Sir works over there. They help steal the last election. It is a scam network. Hat tip the great Maze Moore, who discovered this little gem. As it turns out, 60 Minutes appears to have significantly edited her interview with Kamala Harris because her answers were what they always are. Neologisms, made up words, word salads. So CBS had to edit it. I want you to listen to this. Hat tip Maze, who found this. MAZEMOORE on X. Great follow. Great follow. I want you to listen to the answers. And you're going to notice something really, this is a major scandal brewing at tabloid 60 Minutes. Well beyond Sir and the other stuff. Folks, the answer isn't even close to the original answer. Chat, folks in the chat, what am I saying here? Did they take an answer to a different question and insert it into her original answer to make it appear different? Or what else? What else? Anyone know? Did they recut the interview? Did Kamala Harris's people come in and say that was a bad answer? We want to recut that? Folks, this is a huge scandal. Listen to the two side by side. They're not even close. You tell me. Check this out.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Justin just said it. Doesn't appear to be a jump cut. By the way, did I not tell you Maze Moore? All over that. All over that. You heard the original answer first. A jumbled word salad mess all over the map, just like Kamala Harris always does. She has no ability to extemporaneously answer a question on her feet because she can't. She is an imbecile. I'm leaning towards the latter. That her people broke into the interview and said, Bill, we need to record that over again. That didn't come out right. and then handed her, here's your talking points or something. Folks, this is a monster scandal. CBS's 60 Minutes interfering in another election. Now you see why Donald Trump is smart never to go on with these communist agitprop, propagandist, tabloid losers. This is an insult to tabloids. At least tabloids, people are in on the joke. I will bet you she recut that answer. What a scam. That is journalistic heresy, what you just witnessed right there. Oh, I'm not done. I'll show you how Whitaker, again, this dreadful 60 Minutes interview, totally lets Tampon Tim off the hook, too. They are in full-blown cover-up mode. Folks, on tomorrow's show, I'm already prepping tomorrow's show because of the cycle. Their internal polls for Kamala Harris have got to be devastating right now. Quick break, back to the show. Podcast today sponsored by MD Hearing. Millions of Americans, adults over the age of 65, they start to lose their hearing. I'm actually starting to lose mine, too. MD Hearing is an FDA-registered rechargeable hearing aid that costs a fraction of what typical hearing aids cost. MD Hearing's Neo model costs over 90% less than clinic hearing aids. The Neo fits inside your ear so no one will even know it's there. Plus, MD Hearing just launched the Neo XS, MD Hearing's smallest hearing aid ever. MD Hearing recently cut their price in half, means you can get their high-quality rechargeable digital hearing aids for only $297 a pair. MD Hearing has sold over 1.9 million hearing aids. My family loves them, by the way. Multiple family members use these. And they offer a 45-day risk-free trial with a 100% money-back guarantee. They were just selected to be the hearing aid supplier for top Medicare Advantage plans. This holiday season, get the hearing you deserve with MD Hearing. Go to shopmdhearing.com. Use promo code PATRIOT to get a pair of hearing aids for just $297. Plus, they're adding a free extra charging case of $100 value just for listeners of the Dan Bongino Show. That's shopmdhearing.com. Use our promo code PATRIOT and get a pair of hearing aids for just $297. Thank you, MD Hearing. And our last sponsor for today, MyPillow. Hey, a big retail store just canceled a huge order of MyPillow products. Ton of extra MyPillows laying around. So you know what? You win. Because for the first time ever, you'll get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices. I sleep on them, love them, only $14.88, but it gets even better for a limited time. They're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get a queen size MyPillow for just $18.88. Upgrade to king size for only $1 more. Get the whole body. Get the body pillows for $29.88. Multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. So go to mypillow.com, use promo code Dan, or call 800-637-4982 to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever. Receive free shipping on orders over $75. That's right, get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They've never offered this low before. There are limited quantities at this price, so the limit's going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go to mypillow.com or call 1-800-637-4982 and use promo code Dan. Once again, mypillow.com or call 1-800-637-4982 and use promo code Dan to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever. Thanks, MyPillow. Back to the show. Folks, 60 Minutes is an abomination. It's an atrocity to humankind, at least with Pravda and the Soviet Union. As I said, everybody was in, then they were being played, and they knew to adjust accordingly. Shockingly, there are still people out there who treat this entity like a journalistic enterprise, which is the biggest joke in American media. It's a huge scam. I want you to watch this quick clip to show you how bad the backup plan is when Comrade Communist Kamala Harris folds. It would, when she drops out eventually at some point, this guy's going to wind up being president or run for president if they, God forbid, were to win. Tampon Tim Walz. Watch how Whitaker just lets him off the hook here. He says something at the end of this so ridiculous that any journalist should have nailed him to the wall and let him go. Bill Whitaker asked him about all his lying, stolen valor. He was in Tiananmen Square, the way they had their child. The guy just cannot stop lying. And he says at the end, I think I can be trusted. Oh, you think? You're a heartbeat away from the nuclear codes. It's no time to think. Listen to this.
In your debate with J.D. Vance, you said, I'm a knucklehead at times. And I think you were referring to the time that you said that you were in Hong Kong during the Tiananmen Square unrest when you were not.
Yeah.
Is that kind of misrepresentation, isn't that more than just being a knucklehead?
I think folks know who I am, and I think they know the difference between someone expressing emotion, telling a story, getting a date wrong rather than a pathological liar like Donald Trump.
But I think it comes down to the question of whether you can be trusted to tell the truth.
Yeah, well, I can. I think I can. I will own up to being a knucklehead at times, but the folks closest to me know that I keep my word.
I think I can. I think I can be. I think I can. I think, what is this guy giving himself a freaking motivational speech? He's trying to be vice president of the United States. He's a heartbeat away from being able to launch nuclear annihilation. And he thinks he can be trusted. And notice how Whitaker lets him off the hook. This was such an easy opening. What do you mean you think you can? Folks, the media are partners in playing you in this massive cover-up going on of the extreme fallibility of the Biden-Harris tampon Tim agenda. This is a destructive agenda that will be the end of civil liberties in this country as we know it if we lose. There he is, Tampon Tim, making an appearance, holding the tampon like Zeus with a lightning bolt, the hero of the tampon. Give him a little slider. I love how he does that. You know how he zips across the side? Look at him. Look at him with his jazz hands. We got to do a Tampon Tim jazz hands thing. We do that too. He does it. You ever had the jazz hands? We need a Tampon Tim jazz hands emoji. Folks, the media are partaking in this. You can expect the rhetoric to get even more insane as we close in. Folks, we're 3 weeks away from Election Day. It is right here. It is right now. The pressure is on. Listen to me. I'm going to play some more stuff for you on tomorrow's show. The internal polls on Kamala Harris's campaign are insanely bad. Folks, they are afraid that they're getting close in New Mexico and Minnesota, the Trump team. This is not an excuse not to execute. They're going to cheat. They're going to cheat. I'm telling you, as your friend, your homie here, they are freaking out. That is why they need their media people to double down. The problem they're having is the worst weapon for the Kamala Harris campaign on the Harris campaign is Kamala Harris. Every time she goes in public, she humiliates and embarrasses herself, so they don't know what to do. Here's going to be the backup plan. Mark my words, ladies and gentlemen, they are going to double down now on the democracy is in danger stuff. This is their fallback. It is not some bold prediction. They do it every time, and you are going to start to see more of this. I want you to watch CNN just stand by as this insane lunatic Democrat on their panel starts making the Trump-Hitler comparisons about a guy who was shot in the head and nearly assassinated just a few weeks later by yet another assassin. And they are still doing it. They don't care. They want this guy dead. They want Trump gone. Listen to me. They want you gone. And if we lose, it's only a matter of time before all of us are under investigation, too, by these absolute lunatics. Check this out.
We have long known that Donald Trump has revered the Nazis. He has revered Hitler. He's read his book. He used to say he had it on his nightstand. Donald Trump has had a very sinister philosophy, wanting to be a dictator, absolutely dividing people up based on who they are, based on factors about them that have to do with their race and their gender, etc. And when he uses language like this, I don't think that it's a Freudian slip. I think that the danger of a Donald Trump is that he would absolutely try to exterminate an entire group of people because he thinks that their genes are somehow different than his and faulty. And I say this with all the sternness that you hear in my voice because it is serious, and Americans should recognize that.
Justin's already seen this, and probably 3 or 4 times, and I don't know if it just hit you, but Justin's sitting there like, wait, what did she just... Folks, do you understand this passes for normal campaigning on the left? Hitler analogies to Trump? He reveres the Nazis. Are you fucking insane? Were you smoking crack before that segment? Wolf of Wall Street was on Showtime, I think, last night. And I was flipping through the channels, and there's that scene where Leo DiCaprio and the the fat dude, are smoking crack like in the back of a restaurant. Like, was someone doing drugs before that segment that you let this go on the air? Folks, this is the only thing they have. Do you understand they are trying to frighten people into voting for someone who's going to destroy their lives? Here, I've got another one for you. Here's John Heilman, a douchebag of the absolute highest order. If there's a 1 to 10 douchebag count of douchebag units, like, you know, oh, this is hilarious. I take nattokinase, here, I take natto. I'm not going to sponsor it right there. But it comes in FUs. No, really, FUs. You see that? What does that stand for? Like units, I get. FUs. You know, so you figure there's got to be a bunch of douche canoe FUs. This guy's a 10. Here he is on MSNBC, laying out the argument here, wait for it, that, now, keep in mind, Trump is Hitler, so obviously it's going to incentivize people to want to kill him because they want him dead. And if you recognize it, like we did, this is their argument. If you dare acknowledge that us fucking crazy leftists are probably getting Trump killed by comparing him to Hitler, you are actually inciting violence by recognizing the fact that we're inciting violence. If you're pulling your hair out, are you shitting me? This actually happened. Listen to this number 10 FUD canoe on MSNBC make an argument only a moron and his mama would understand. Check this out.
It's pretty dangerous, Joe. I struggle for the right superlatives. You know, this has been coming for a while, right? It's not. This is not the first time that Donald Trump. He maybe was more direct about it this weekend than he's ever been himself. J.D. Vance and others in his orbit have been advancing this claim now for, well, really since the assassination attempt at Butler, when it was within a few hours of the shot being taken at him, of him being hit in the ear, that the rhetoric started. And if you went back and looked at what J.D. Vance and what others on Twitter and in some television interviews were saying, literally that day, that was where the virus, the mind virus, first germinated, I suppose you'd say, in the MAGA lab.
You believe this piece of shit? Again, a face only his mama could love. The argument there, just to be clear, is we are going to... I just played for you a clip of a woman making references to Donald Trump liking Nazis and Hitler. I just played it, man. Which would incentivize a psycho on the left, of which there are many, to shoot him in the head. Oh, that actually happened. And another guy to try to shoot him in the head. Oh, that actually happened too. And douchebag Heilman, by the way, a chump and a loser and a wussbag who I swear to you doesn't have a single life skill other than saying dumb shit on TV, goes on MSNBC and says, oh, the guy who was shot in the head and almost assassinated again, that our people are alluding to as Hitler. If you crazy conservatives recognize that, you were definitely inciting violence. John Heilman, you're a piece of shit. You've always been one. You're garbage. You're filth. And I'll tell you what, if I see you in person, come up to me and I'll tell you right to your face what I told you here. You are a piece of garbage. You've always been a piece of garbage. Unlike you, I actually believe in nonviolence. And I'm happy to tell you what a piece of garbage you are, because you're filth. You are absolute filth. It's people like you who are getting people hurt. I don't recommend. Matter of fact, yesterday, I threw the Fugazi sign and was mad at myself because I so don't even like the implication that violence is an acceptable thing. I hate it. I hate it. We consistently call out people for violent stuff. We've had to dump people from us for saying shit like that because we don't believe it. It's you assholes who do that. I'm so sick of these people, folks. This is all they have. They have lost every single argument. The economic one, the public safety one, the global chaos argument, international affairs, the inflation argument. So what do they go back to? They go back to threat to democracy. You can see it in this next clip. I want you to watch this exchange between Kristen Welker. Again, I knew her a while ago. She pretended to be sane. She has completely lost her mind, is now all in with leftist communist bullshit. Here she is with Tom Cotton on a very interesting question they keep going back to. Do you believe Joe Biden won the 2020 election? Guys, I don't know why Republican lawmakers have a problem with this question. You are allowed to have an opinion. Do you understand that? I'm not knocking this guy. All right, I'm just saying, why is everybody so afraid of this question? Justin, ask me who I believe won the 2020 election. Who won the 2020 election? I believe it was Trump. I can't prove it because I can't prove a counterfactual, folks. I tautologically can't prove it because I can't tell you what would have happened in a fair election because we didn't have a fair election. You get the point? I can't tell you what would have happened if we implemented a tax cut if we don't implement the tax cut because it didn't happen. So I can't tell you definitively. You're asking me my opinion? Trump won. How do you prove it? You can't. How can I prove it? I can't prove it because it wasn't a fair election. If it was a fair election, I'd be able to prove it. It wasn't. Good. I love these. This is not a hard question. I have evidence it wasn't a fair election. The interference on the Hunter Biden laptop story and the polls afterwards, the Pennsylvania debacle with the dated ballots, the evidence is everywhere that this was not a fair election. The use of mail-in ballots for the first time when the New York Times itself in 2012 wrote an article about fraud and rejection rates on the rise. Look up the article yourself. It's written by Adam Leptak with mail-in ballots. It's right there. I have actual evidence that my opinion may be valid. You have none. Why is this a hard question to answer? Kamala, you know what? Let's play it in reverse. Let's do it in reverse, Justin. Play the Breakfast Club first. You notice no one in the media is asking Kamala Harris why she did an interview with the Breakfast Club, a really popular show, podcast, I think radio show too, years ago. And when the host appears to reply that Trump is an illegitimate president, Kamala Harris totally agrees. Why aren't they asking her that? She has an opinion. Why is it hard to answer this question on our side? Check this out.
Elections matter. When you win an election, you get to set the rules.
How can you win with Russian interference, though?
That's a real
what I'm
thing.
scared about in 2020.
But rightly.
Because I think he's an illegitimate president that didn't really win. So how do you fight against that in 2020?
You are absolutely right. So, again, as a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, I will tell you that we should believe exactly what the intelligence community has told us, which is Russia did interfere in the election of the President of the United States in 2016.
Folks, we always bring receipts, man. We always bring the receipts. We're like the supermarket. Receipts every time. Receipts every time. Oh, look, the Adam Liptak article. Thanks, fellas. New York Times, October 6, 2012. Everybody pause. Pause right now. I'm serious. Please, pause what you're doing. No, don't pause the show. Pause what you're doing. Unless you're driving, carrying weapons, sharp objects, or a small child. Pause. Pick up your phone. Folks, the Bongino Army, I never issue orders. I'm sorry, we got to pull up this article. It's right there on the screen. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, here it is. I'll read it slow. Error and fraud at issue as absentee voting rises. New York Times, Adam Liptak, 2012. Quote, yet votes cast by mail are less likely to be counted, more likely to be compromised, and more likely to be contested than those cast in a voting booth, statistics show. It's a New York Times. So the New York Times is telling, and by the way, when I tell you to vote early, I mean go and vote. A couple people are confused. I love when people put on Twitter things I never said. Dan Bongino said mail in your vote. I did not say that. If it's your only option, then yes, I'd rather you mail in your vote than not vote. If you can go and vote in person, go and vote in person. I did not say, do not ever put words in my mouth. That is not ever what I said. Go vote early does not mean vote by mail. If you have to vote by mail, then vote by mail. My daughter has to vote by mail. Oh, she's not here. Well, how else is she going to vote? Starship doesn't have a choice. I'd rather you vote by mail than not vote. But you need to vote in person early. I can prove to you that there is a lot of evidence that a mass mail-in ballot election has a lot of fraud using the New York Times' own article. Yet again, struggling with this question, the left-wing media loves because they love this war on democracy bullshit. Did Joe Biden win the 2020 election? Here's your answer. He's the president in that he won, air quotes, the election. You're asking me who I think won? Not Joe Biden, Donald Trump. And that's my opinion. And I have evidence to back it up. You want to hear it? Make the case. Make the case. Stop running from the question. Check this out.
Different. I want to talk about one of the big moments this week from the vice presidential debate. We just played it in the open when Senator J.D. Vance refused to say that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. I want to put this question to you, Senator, just to put this to rest. Can you say definitively here and now that Donald Trump did lose the 2020 election?
I don't understand. I don't understand why we just can't lay out the evidence that we have a different opinion. Yes, we're stuck with Joe Biden. It's almost over. We've been stuck with this loser for almost 4 years. Obviously, the past, we can't change it. We can't change it. You're allowed to have an opinion, folks. I know I'm not saying any, this is not directed at you, so please forgive me for sounding, pseudo-professorial. That's not how this is meant to sound. I know you guys get it. You're allowed an opinion. The 2020 election was stolen from us, and the evidence is everywhere. If your liberal friends want to hear it, tell them. If they don't, tell them to shut because they didn't ask you a question, they made an assertion. And when asked for evidence to back up, you asked them this was the freest and fairest election? Prove it. Show me some evidence. Show me some evidence. The media said, the media said, that's funny. That's funny. The same media told us there's a PP tape. Or that Hunter Biden's laptop was Vladimir Putin's? That one? Folks, here's the good news. And I do mean good news. I'm wearing, is it bad enough yet? I have various iterations of the shirt, red, black, gray, different color lettering. If you want one, store.bongino.com. Up to you. I'm not a clothing salesman. This isn't like FUBU or stuff, but I know you guys like the shirts. My cousin wants one, so is it bad enough yet? I'm going to tell you, for the first time in a while, maybe. It's a big change. This is like Cook Political Report, changing from toss-up to lean. I'm serious, maybe. I'm not at yes. I'm not even at... So there's different degrees. Michael, write this down. There's, is it bad enough yet? No. There's an upgrade, is it bad enough yet? Maybe. And then we could progress to, I think so. And then, is it bad enough yet? Yes, is the peak level of bad. We're definitely not at yes. I don't think we're at I think so. We're at maybe. Maybe. Justin agrees. I'm not ready to take any plunges yet. After the election, we'll obviously have more information. Is it bad enough yet that people start to open their eyes like they did in New York and in a Ronald Reagan landslide, and they're like, I'm sick of Democrat bullshit? Now, because this is not a liberal show, again, we're like the supermarket. You always get a receipt. Folks, Philadelphia has been one of the most reliable blocks of Democrat voters anywhere in the country for seriously close to 50 years. Fox News. Blue Philly working class voters start leaning towards Trump ahead of election. Quote, people actually love him. I don't want anyone to get ahead of themselves. Red wave talk will get you psychologically banned from my show forever. I'm just telling you in a bit of good news, I'm 100% sure that something is going on here, and you could be witnessing a generational shift in working class voters. Here's another Twitter account I strongly recommend you follow. Throw it up on the screen. It's at Polymarket. This is people putting their own money on the race. I don't give a shit about pollsters. I care about people on the ground who are sensing things and are willing to put their own skin in the game. They have Trump's lead in the Polymarket thing is up to 8.6% today. It's his biggest lead since Kamala Harris enters the race. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get too excited about things. I'm just telling you, I'm feeling something different in this election. It's real. And I am begging you to go. If there is early voting in your state, go today. Today. Vote in person. Check your vote 2 or 3 times. You can go to the website. It'll say you voted. It doesn't say for who, obviously. Go and vote early. Do not wait. Terror attacks, DDoS attacks, weather events. This is already happening.